I think you can still improve a lot, or like we can still improve a lot on everything. But we're not really like shoehorning ourselves into one playstyle.
Hi everyone, it's Tom reporting from the LEC Spring Split, and with me here is Kaiser, the support of Matthiesen, who have just won their game against XL. And Kaiser, that must feel pretty good coming off the back of, but maybe it was a bit of a disappointing weekend last weekend?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we were not losing hope because last year we also had a rough start because we started against G2, of course, and it's always really rough, especially if they get reckless in their team, right? So we knew it was going to be a rough week, probably the first week, because we also have to get used to our two new players, right? They're obviously really talented, so I was not like that worried. But yeah, I mean, it's just a marathon, of course, even Spring Split. So we just have to stay cool and get every win we can get.
And that is actually, well, you mentioned how the split started last year. And obviously you guys came online, quote unquote, later in the spring split as well, and especially in the summer split. But comparing it to this year, how different is it for you now that you're, well, not necessarily a veteran, but you're definitely a sophomore and no longer a rookie? How different is the start of the spring split for you?
I mean, it's different in the way that you don't have to learn like the basics, I would say. So like we don't really yeah, I mean, I guess like you kind of know what to do in each situation, I guess. Before, where we played in winter, I guess, against like some NA academy teams, you know, and we kept losing to them. That was like kind of depressing. So that wouldn't happen anymore to us, and we just like it's kind of in our blood now, I guess, our play style and stuff like this, and how we communicate with each other, like that we have like clear comms and stuff like this. So you don't really have to like relearn it. You just have to apply it, and like of course we have two different players, so you have to kind of shift your communication a bit, because of course Elioya is different than Shadow, like Amund is different than Orom. So we still have to get used to that. That like some people are talking more, some people are talking less, and stuff like this. But yeah. We can get this over time now.
Yeah, and talking about you specifically, like how is it in terms of nerves? I spoke to Caps last week, and he said he was still nervous for the start of the spring split because he felt, we have a new lineup, we got a lot to prove. How is this for you? I imagine that when you're a rookie, you also have that, maybe not like that you're choking with anxiety or something like that, but there are gonna be nerves. How is that now compared to last year?
I mean, honestly, like I don't really feel any nerves right now. I feel like, yeah, I mean, I feel like we already proved that we can be really good players in each role, and of course, our Worlds run was like, kind of terrible. So I feel like we came into
New Year, Kaiser, New Year.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like we came in kind of as an underdog in a way, because of our Worlds run, because like now everyone thinks maybe we're like a bit worse than expected and stuff like this. So I don't really feel that much pressure to win or anything. Like I feel like we are really good players, and we'll like over time we'll just get better. And even though our weekend, like our first weekend, was a bit rough, I think the mistakes we did, like in draft or in like gameplay, of course, as well, I think they're easily fixable, and we already like kind of fixed some of them, which you probably saw today as well. So yeah, I'm really happy about that.
Well, you say you have maybe a more of an underdog position because people might not have high expectations after your Worlds run. Still, you were favorites in the summer split, and now you're maybe not favorites, but still I think people still have high expectations of Mad Lions because you made it to Worlds. Does it make a difference for you whether you're a favorite or not?
I mean, in a way, yes. I feel like I push myself way harder if like I feel like I can like win against like the best or whatever. Like if I feel like if you're the best, it's way harder to keep motivation, I guess, because you feel like no one can beat me anyway, in a way. Like for example, against G2 when we won our first best of 5 against them, I kind of felt like I was slacking off afterwards, because you just feel like, oh, you just beat G2. It can't really get any better. But of course, you can still win against Fnatic. You can still win Europe, right? And as a rookie, that kind of yeah, it kind of, you kind of felt overconfident in a way. So being in an underdog role, especially for me, is like pretty important, I would say, because like I just don't feel any pressure. I can play however I want, I guess, and yeah, I mean that always helped me in the past, and like currently I'm just trying to always have the state of like never being nervous and stuff like this. And yeah, I mean currently it's fine. Maybe once we start winning again and stuff like this, I will have to adapt again and yeah, learn from
Yeah.
my mistakes.
So, something that you also touched on earlier is that you have two new members in the team. And when Mad Lions was formed, obviously this was a bunch of rookies grouped together. Orome had been a substitute on Splice, and Humanoid had been there for a while. And I think you and Karti came together into Mad Lions, if I'm not mistaken. But how is it for you to work with two new players and integrating them to a team when you have already experienced like bringing together so many people from different teams?
I mean, it felt actually really easy for both of them. I feel like both of them are really open to, yeah, just, I mean, to just everything, I guess, like
Oh.
new play styles, like they're really like friendly people.
Mhm.
Like we instantly became like friends as a group, I guess, and they share like the same humor, even though it's like you can guess what Kazi's humor is,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I feel like really happy about them, and I feel like they're really far from like or like really far in gameplay wise. Because
Mhm.
for example, us as rookies in Spring, we were like really like, kind of bad, and like we didn't really know anything even like 2 months in
Mhm.
after learning from our coaches. And I feel like Elioya and Amut they learn really fast. I feel like they apply strategies that we had to like work months for in like a few weeks. Like I think they're really skilled and like really intelligent about the game. So yeah, I'm
Well,
really happy about
it
them.
probably does help there that now they are in a team that's already had that experience, whereas you guys had four people who are new.
I mean that's true as well, but I think yeah, I think they're just really smart as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it definitely helps.
Yeah, but we've obviously seen them perform very well. Elyoya, even against the game, in the game against G2, which you guys ended up losing, his jungling was very good. And Armut, obviously, well, to be fair, he did press Gordrinker on Aatrox a few times with shield stacked onto him, but nevertheless, you can definitely see that he's talented, right? We saw it at Worlds as well. You guys saw it at Worlds as well.
Oh.
I'm not gonna go too much into that. But talking about the Mad Lions playstyle, which you said, which is in your blood now, this is this proactive, aggressive playstyle. Do you think though that this is a playstyle that you guys still need to perfect with these team members? Or are you guys already looking at, okay, we can play this aggressive style and we are going to try to diversify?
I mean, I think it's really meta dependent as well because we are already like branching out our champion pools. For example, you saw the Ivan today, or like is an entirely different playstyle, right? You play around your AD carry more, which we didn't usually do. I think we usually left Kazi a bit like to dry, I guess, or like we used him to rotate in a way to get like objectives and stuff like this. So we like already are trying to branch out and adapting to the meta, which is like Moonstone right now, or like Enchanters, for example. So I think we are currently doing a bit of both. I don't think we perfected any strategy yet. Even our aggressive playstyle still has like some work to do. For example, we go aggressive at the wrong times, or like we are not fast enough on the map, or like examples like this, right? So I think you can still improve a lot, or like we can still improve a lot on everything, but we're not really like shoehorning ourselves into one playstyle. Because I think like especially right now the meta is really important. Like if you don't pick the meta stuff, I guess, then you might yeah be already at a huge disadvantage in draft.
Yeah, there might not be as much flexibility in the meta, which we did see you guys experiment with in summer. You guys were pretty inventive with what you guys brought to the table. Is that something that could maybe hinder you guys, you think? Not being able to flex as much?
I think so. I think we are like one of the teams that always try to experiment. Of course, like we are all like pretty creative players in what we like pick. I think Elyoya and Armut as well. Like I think they have some pocket picks that some people will be surprised of in the future. So yeah, I think like if the meta is really like stable and like you just pick like these champions every single game, I think we might struggle a bit more than other teams because like other teams, for example, Rogue, they had this style where they just play the same like comp and champions over and over again, and we try to like be a bit more creative and stuff like this, because we're just like kind of random people, I guess,
Yeah.
in our minds. And yeah, I mean, but it's not like we can't play meta either. Like I think we can also like try to like search for something that maybe beats the meta, right? Like it's
Mhm.
the meta is not always like stable, even if nothing changes. I think people just find some new picks. Like it's just kind of hard right now, but I think people will find some counters for sure.
All right, Kaiser. You've teased us a bit with the picks that your team might bring out in some of the other roles. I'm gonna look forward to it. Thank you very much for joining me, and well, good luck in the rest of the split, man.
Thank you.